Thanks for locking in with 77 Flavors of Chicago. We're your host, Dario.
And I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready to learn with us.
Today, we're talking about high fashion, like Goya. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
That's how you starting your shit off.
Guys, make sure you share this episode so we can get paid for it so that I can buy a new cord for my mic.
Yeah, we do need new mics right now all of a sudden.
We just need new cords.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
What is happening? Well, we've been using them forever.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think so.
And we traveled with them. We took them to other countries. They used to be in the bag all the
Egypt.
time.
Jordan.
They went to 77 community areas.
You know what I'm saying? These some hard-working mics, boy.
Hard-working
Hey,
mics.
why do I sound low, too?
I don't think you sound low.
Yeah, maybe
your headphone is low.
You know what
loud
it
as
is?
hell in my ear.
No. My bad. I think it's because when we unplugged and we switched the mics up, my shit might be different.
Maybe. You sound good.
Do I sound good? All right, cool. Yeah. Anyway, how y'all doing?
Amazing.
Perfect.
We didn't ask last week.
We did not ask. Not that we didn't care. Did I say
I
that?
didn't care. I'm sorry.
I did not.
No, that energy is gone. That was only one episode energy. Guys, I used to flame people in the beginning.
Used to.
Yeah, I don't do it as much anymore.
As much, right? That's the key.
I don't cuss people out anymore.
No. We both better at what we do.
Here's the thing. I had to set the precedent. Okay, I'm gonna need you to take a breath and relax.
Look at you.
And let me finish the sentence. I had to set a precedent from the beginning because people are clowns on the internet.
Man,
you know what I mean? And so I couldn't let people think that they could
sweet
say
out
anything and get away with it.
Yeah.
Okay? You're gonna get cussed out.
Yeah, for real. I think the internet don't understand that, like, not everybody on the internet is just gonna go for that bullshit.
Correct.
You gonna get cussed out.
So
like,
here's the interesting thing. There's this influencer that, a lot of people are like, well, not an influencer.
Just regular
chaperone.
person.
No, not regular person.
Chaperone?
She came out and she was like, don't come up to me in public and like harass me for a photo. Like, just don't do it. And if I say no, it's a no. And people are like, it's part of your job. No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not. Just because you think you know the person that's online, I think parasocial relationships are so odd because people think they know these like celebrities, and like truly you don't. Even large influencers that get like hundreds of thousands of comments or like thousands of comments of people like hating on them. You don't know these people. You don't know what they're going through.
Internet tough ain't never going away though. Like, that's the thing. Like, we've understood that, but like it's one thing. You just shut up. You know what I mean? Because like, hey, but here's what gets me is when they want to after the person respond back. The influencer celebrity respond back.
They'll apologize.
No. Now they're going to cry or either apologize or be like, oh no, can you believe what he said to me? As a human.
Right.
You acting a fool. What you think was going to happen?
You are very loud today.
Am I? Well.
Yeah. I think you're speaking louder because you can't hear yourself. Turn up your
Hold on, let me figure this out. Which one am I? Am I, is this better? Or is it your headphones louder?
My headphones louder.
Damn. So I'm making it louder. Is my shit? What's going on?
No, that's my headphone.
See, I know I got it mixed up.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Hello? There. There it is. Yeah.
You were yelling? I'm like, what's going on? We can hear you, okay?
I was trying to overcompensate, huh?
Compensate.
Compensate. I said that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
You said moments later after you say you don't bully.
You could say confiscate and I
confiscate. That's when you take shit.
When you take things?
Yeah. A lot of police people say that.
Teachers.
Confiscated.
No. How do you say it? Confiscate?
Damn. Confiscate. Yeah. That's all I know is like old ass bosses would be like, I'm gonna take your cell phone, I'm gonna confiscate it if you.
I feel like that's a word that I've only like read. Never. Have I heard that word out loud? Maybe.
Yeah, you have. You have. I know bosses, teachers.
My boss has never told me they're gonna confiscate my phone.
Look, my ass was on the sales floor talking about gotta get this post off. You know what I'm saying? Oh, right quick. Let her know what's going on.
How was your week?
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, we doing this the morning of the Bears. So I'm not gonna have no update for y'all. We should probably release these on Tuesday so I can have a
we should recap. Definitely. No, absolutely we should.
Yes, we can. Now it's Bear season. It's Bear season.
But this is not a sports podcast.
It's a Chicago culture, history and culture podcast. That's part of the culture.
We don't talk about current things.
No, we do. we do talk about current things. We
talk about current things on our Instagram, but this is history. This is an escape. I want this to be people's.
So you said you don't want no sad shit on here. Well, the Bears gonna be good this year. All right, here's my prediction, y'all. Here's my prediction. The Bears are
12-5.
12-5. 12-5. 12 wins, 5 losses. Bears gonna look good. We're gonna run into some stumbling blocks. Right around that week, I think, what is it, week 10, 9 or 10, when we start playing in the division, that we got all eight games, or the 6 games are with the division. When we get there, that's when it's going to kind of get rocky. But I think the Bears are going to be, at that point, we're going to be good. We got some W's under our belt, you know what I'm saying? And by that time, I think the Bears are going to be knowing what they're doing when it comes to the division. I'm going to say it right now. Vikings ain't going to do shit. I'm sorry. We're going to win both of them games against the Vikings. We're going to split the Packers.
Okay.
We're going to win the last game of the year against the Packers.
That was a full minute.
Now, was that a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got one more prediction. We gonna beat both games against Detroit. Y'all heard it here first. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, breaking news, y'all. Breaking predictions. I do want to make a quick housekeeping note. Someone sent us a fan mail that required a response, and unfortunately, we don't see your contact information when you submit it. So if you want us to get back to you, leave us your email or something. And if you don't want to have to like manually type your email, you can actually contact us through our website, and that will automatically send us your email. So
we like the fan mail.
We love it,
but we just can't respond.
Yeah, we can't.
I don't know why. First of all, that's on Buzzsprout. How you gonna put a feature out there?
Distributor doesn't.
Yeah, well, we can't respond back to the people. We want to. We see you. We know you listen to the podcast, so that's a beautiful thing. So this message gonna get to you. It's not that we don't want to respond.
Right. We want to. we just can't.
We can't.
I see like your phone number. Yeah. It's blurred out.
I was about to say that's the dumbest shit in the world.
Give us your last 4 digits. So if the last 4 digits of your phone number are your social, we got all your shit.
Right. Why would you put that person's information out there? Like you're not gonna ask for the email. Like so, at least give it to us. Not make it public, but like let us know, or give us a respond option.
I wonder if there's a selection where people can say yes, give my email or not, and maybe this person was like, I don't want to hear back from them.
No, but
they asked the question.
They've been nice so far. You know what? Here, check this out. Let's see. Let's see if I can change the settings on this. If I could custom text. Oh, custom text. Send us a text. Well, say send us a text, and then that's all you get.
Yeah.
Damn, so there's no response button on here.
Setting.
Wow. Sorry, y'all. Well, I mean, it's a good feature, but
leave your email in the thing. No one else sees it but us.
Right. So we're not gonna give out this information.
We might give it out depending on what you say.
Depending on if it's gonna make us some money or not.
Depending on what you say in the comment.
If your shit got a company email afterwards, we definitely. I'm just playing.
Kyle at Google.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess because you are listening to this, hey, just move back to Shy and enjoying the podcast. Listen to the app on Lake Point Tower. Let me know if you want to come check it out on the 3rd floor. Absolutely, we do. You say it's the coolest part of the building. Hell yeah, we want to come.
Correct.
Yeah, we want to come up there. So, like, if you hear this, reach out to us, media@77flavorshy.com or DM us on our Instagram, 77flavorshy. So
we respond.
Yeah, we will. We do respond there.
I check our message requests. I don't respond to all of them because sometimes I don't know what you're talking about.
Bullshit. but we respond to something like that. Yeah, we'll definitely respond. So, you want to get into it today?
Yes.
Let's
today
get
is
into
a very exciting episode. I kind of want to. So the reason we went down this rabbit hole is because Dario was driving and we were on the phone, and he was like, this building says Vogue on it. Can you look up and see what that is? And it was a building on Wells. And so I started looking up like Vogue Chicago, Vogue Building Chicago, whatever. And I kept getting Vogue Building Chicago, but that Vogue building didn't have anything to do, like there was no history on it. So I took out building. I just looked up Vogue Chicago, and I came across Blum's Vogue Chicago, and I rabbit holed.
Wild. Wild that we found that building. It had nothing to do with our actual topic.
Right. But that's how sometimes we find these things. Just random.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about this topic. Yeah.
Your brain is just
My brain.
Yeah, what's going on?
My brain was thinking like, oh, I kind of want to talk about Lit Fest, but by the time this episode's out, Lit Fest is no more. But that was a fun time.
That was fun. Yeah.
But if you didn't know, go back and listen to our episode on the Printers Row, and it tells you a lot of really cool history about Chicago and printing and publishing. And so we went to Lit Fest this weekend, and it was very fun.
It was lit.
Yeah. Hey.
I do have a drum roll on here somewhere, but I'm not gonna look for that.
Yeah. Anyway, Blum's Vogue, y'all. So this was Harry and Becky Blum, Blum, in case you want to rabbit hole yourself. And they started a business, and it was in the Congress Hotel. And when it first started in 1910, they owned a store called Blum's. And basically what they did was it was luxury boutique. It was, you could buy any kind of like clothing and shoes and bags and accessories and stuff like that. They would bring stuff from Europe, and they basically, it was kind of ready to wear, but they weren't really satisfied with the ready to wear model.
Yeah.
Right. Harry was what?
No. I was gonna say the reason why they weren't satisfied. They didn't think
it was good enough.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
Yeah, and basically what Harry was saying, him and his wife was kind of considered the person that was like the stylist. He was the business person, and she was the person that was like the creative behind the brand. Yeah. And their thought process was that women in the U.S. did not kind of have the same style or the same style needs as Europeans did, and
which was fair. That's
very fair.
That's a very fair assessment. Yeah,
because certain trends aren't like worldwide,
right?
You know what I mean? And so you have these big designers that were making clothes for women in Europe, and he was like, they're not good enough for us, basically. A true Chicagoan.
Bold. Bold.
And so he would bring the clothes. He would import the clothes into the shop. Of course, things like Saks Fifth Avenue existed. So you had department stores. It's not like department stores weren't something new at this point. But
newer.
I mean, from the end of the 19th century, we already had department
Sears,
stores. Like think of New York. New York had a ton. Right. So Sears.
Sears Roebuck.
Oh yeah.
It was a department store.
For a second, I was like, Sears, like, yeah, never mind. Yeah. Anyway, so he wasn't necessarily revolutionary from the idea of like having a department store, and at this point in Congress Hotel, it wasn't really a department store; it was a boutique. But what really revolutionized what they were doing was that they were customizing these pieces to the person. So you would go in, you would find a piece that you liked, and they would customize it to you. You can add details to it. You can add beading. You can take away beading. You can add a train. You can take away a train. And
that's wild.
Yeah.
How you get away with the copyright on that?
Well, I feel like at the time, I don't think, but you can tailor it.
I guess you can modify your own shit, but they were reselling it though.
Well, you buy the piece.
I guess,
and then
that's fair.
That's
a loophole.
It. Yeah.
that's a fire ass loophole.
You could still, I could still do that. I could buy a Chanel suit and take it to a tailor and be like, add these buttons, take away this.
But you can't sell it again.
Right.
But
that's I own it. At this point, I'm paying for the labor to redo the item for me.
That's cool. That's cold. That's cold.
They just wanted the things to be customizable. Yeah. And they really took pride in that. And that store was called Vogue. Right. And obviously, you know, that name meant something for them. They wanted it to be kind of a Vogue experience.
Right.
And what Harry's kind of slogan was, it's a bit of a longer quote from the book that I'm about to talk about, but basically what he said was that style, an intelligent woman is a woman with style, not one that looks just for newness, looks for individuality.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's a God damn, that's a bar. Wow. An intelligent woman is one with style, not one that look for newness.
Yeah. He wanted people to look for individuality, not just to follow trends.
Yeah.
He wanted them to be able to come into the store and kind of develop their sense of style. And so the store had like very large fitting rooms. Everything looked very luxurious. The cases were glass. Everyone that worked there dressed very nice. And because they were in the Congress Hotel, because of the area that they were in, a lot of celebrities stayed in the Congress Hotel.
A lot of presidents.
A lot of presidents, a lot of very famous actors stayed in there. And so, they would come down and they would be dressed from that boutique. And so they blew up. They got very popular and they were able to expand. Yeah. And so...
I was going to say, the Congress Hotel... Now, this is something interesting about this topic here. So we had no clue about the rabbit hole that really is Chicago history, which we've over 3 years, we got a ton of rabbit holes to go down and tie shit back to. But we done an episode on John Morkrum and Morton, who created the teletype, basically, and made this communication system, we'll call it that, right? That can, was revolutionary for its time, for sure, to communicate cross country.
As it could be in that time.
Exactly. And so in that episode, the librarian from the Morton Library, Specialty Collection Library, she had mentioned that one of the uses of that was at the hotel in...
Yeah, the first people to implement that teletype system within a business was the Congress Hotel.
Was Congress Hotel. Right, that's all she said. Yeah. Not the business. She just said it was Congress Hotel. So we could still be wrong about this. However, the timelines line all the way up. Yeah. Towards because this, they started in 1910. This was more so towards the 1916, 18 area, right around that time. So it very well could have got the technology later. But we were just putting it together 2 and 2. Literally, we were on the street and I was like, wait a minute.
I wonder.
This gotta be the business that she was talking about.
Well, the hotel also used it.
Right. But so I think all of them got it at that same time, which is crazy. So. That's why, so it was cool to kind of hear about that preamble. We had no clue. She even said, don't know the name of the business. You know what I mean? But here we go.
Yeah.
And one more thing I was going to say, the reason why she probably didn't know, because this is where I was going with it. Inside the Congress Hotel, we got to do a whole episode on the Congress Hotel because it's dope. But there's no mention of this anywhere. Right. Maybe on those top floors, I'd imagine. Maybe.
Well, they were. I feel like they were on the ground floor.
I think. They had to be on the. Get that business.
Yeah, they must have been. They must have had a window.
But it ain't nothing.
Right.
We searched.
Not in. We didn't ask when we got in there, but we walked around the first floor looking for any kind of. There is even a glass case that has some of the history, but it doesn't talk about.
Even got a wedding dress in there.
Right.
So, but there's no
promoting the event space.
Yeah, right. That's it.
But yeah, so they were at the Congress Hotel until about 1920. They incorporated in 1919, and in 1920 they bought a building just not even a block down, 624 to 630 South Michigan. And it's actually right next to another hotel, which is the Blackstone Hotel. And that building was already 7 floors, but then they wanted it to be kind of like their flagship. Their offices were there. All of their seamstresses were there. Everyone worked out of there. So they added an additional 7 floors.
What?
And they invested $600,000 to do that.
You know what kind of paper you got to have to be like, yo, this building's here already, but this is what we're going to do. Blow the roof off, we're going to add 7 more floors.
And you actually can't really see the seam of the building, which is really impressive.
That was mind-blowing because Sarah and I, we sat there and we looked at the building. And we and at this point, we can pretty much tell where the seam is in the building. You know what I mean? Where they either added or most people can. It's pretty obvious. This one is done perfectly.
Yeah.
It is a masterful addition because you know what this was? Most times when that happens, they have another architect come through that had a different idea and I feel like this is not proven or anything like that. We've never run across this, but I feel like back in those days when you had an architect that came and added to another architect work, what they wanted to do was kind of keep the integrity of the old work, but not step on their toes and do something completely different. So it'll look similar, but different enough to be all right, this is my part of it. Right. You know what I mean? But this one must have been the same people.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really look into who the architects were for this building, but he does mention it in that booklet that I'll talk about in a second. But just to give you an idea, $600,000 in 1920 is equivalent to $9.4 million today.
Wait. Say that 600.
$600,000 in 1920.
That's some inflation, boy.
And so in 1918 they made a profit of $1.1 million. In 1923, after they opened that 624 location, they made $3.2 million.
So they made like the equivalent of that first year, like 18 million, and then
something.
Yeah, like and then after that, they made almost 40 million.
Probably something.
Wow. And back in them days, that's...
Yeah. And at this point, they had 2 stores, and the brands were still separate. So now we had Blum's, and Vogue. Blum's was ready to wear. You could walk in, walk out, same 15 minutes with an item.
Yep.
Vogue, you could go and have a whole experience, get customized, all of that stuff. So these were still 2 separate brands. You walk in, you have 2 different experiences. And they really loved that model. That model really worked for them. But when they opened the second store, they really wanted to kind of highlight Chicago, one, as a hub for fashion and innovation when it comes to fashion, but also they wanted to be transparent with how they did their work. And so Harry and his wife, Becky, together, they collaborated on this booklet that is called... let's see, what is it? What was it called? Within the Portals.
Boy, y'all, I got a clip on. I didn't even. I'm not. It's not posted. But I got a clip where my brain.
I know.
Was fried on this shit. I could not get. I called the dude Hank. I was called.
Yeah. I might post it on our story.
It's hilarious, y'all.
Within the Portals, and basically what he did is he took the people on an inside look of the behind the scenes of how the business worked. And so he would explain where they got the textiles from, who the people that work there are, how they did this, like what's their business model, what can you expect, what are the carpets that are in the store, what are the drapes, how are things organized, who are the people that work there. There's a section on the employees, there's a section on imports. Like it's a large, not a large booklet, but for its time, for like a company brochure, it's a book, and it's a hardcover.
Like it's like, I mean, it's amazing to see that insight. One thing that I said when we were looking through the book was, it's crazy to talk about the history, because we talked about the history, and then we went to the Newberry Library, which I feel we say it all the time. Everybody, you need to get that library card, but. We went there and like we see the history. We're touching the history that we talked about. That was the part that's like always mind blowing to me, because like ain't no mystery to it.
Right.
This is what they said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, for sure. And in that booklet, they kind of explained that they kind of reiterated how what they're doing is actually different, and they tell you where they get their textiles. They also included pictures from their seamstress location where people are sitting there and like actually customizing those pieces. And because that wasn't done, obviously, where people were shopping, it was done in the like floors above the store.
Right.
And think of how big that store was.
I mean,
you got 14 floors.
624 South Michigan Avenue is large, y'all.
It is.
Like,
it's owned by Columbia College.
Yeah.
And it's their library and their storefront,
which is really cool, because if you watch our video, I'll show you. We show you the book, and we went inside, and in the corner of where we show you things in the book, I show you what it looked like. What we actually took the footage of.
Yeah.
When I tell you, they ain't changed shit in that lobby.
Yeah.
Like that's
the lobby is exactly
amazing.
The same. It's so beautiful.
It's crazy. Honestly, I love what we do, because like we get to like chase down this history like that, and like you've never known. You would have never known. And I think this one hit a little bit different, because we actually had the book that they wrote from back in their day.
Right.
1923 or whatever.
Almost like 100 some years ago.
Almost 100 years ago, we literally holding on to this book, and it was 101 years. Yeah. 101 years ago, we holding on to the book and looking at the shit. That's crazy. Man, my mind was blown. Mine was blown.
Yeah. So, they really wanted to develop that unique American style, and so by 1930, they merged the stores. So now it became called Blum's Vogue with an apostrophe, the possessive apostrophe, S. And so Blum's Vogue became one store, and they eventually had 4 stores in Chicago. I read somewhere that they had multiple stores around the country, but I could not verify that, so that might be true, might not be true. And that was in 1930, and then they eventually both Harry and Becky retired by 1961, and Harry died in 1966.
And that's wild.
Yeah.
I say wild because that wasn't long ago, and he almost lived to see Martin Luther King assassination. That's the I think that's when I think about it in terms like that. He lived so long, you know what I mean? They both lived so long that they saw civil rights and shit like that, but didn't even see that end of it. They were there.
One of the locations that they did have that was pretty iconic is 920 North Michigan, and it was called Blum's North.
Yep.
And so they had that was one of their stores, but eventually they closed down some of the stores. They didn't, but whoever owned the business afterwards closed down the stores, and the last store closed by 1983.
Now, y'all, as we are speaking, as we doing this, I thought, and I wanted to wait for this moment because I didn't know if you were going to think of it, but 900 North Michigan Avenue. That's 900 North Michigan Avenue. That's where the rich people shop. This is one of the starts of the places, right? Yeah. That was 920 North Michigan Avenue. I wonder if any of that had anything to do with this. You know what I mean? I'm looking, and
how old is 900 North Michigan as a shopping center?
1988. So
they didn't exist at the same time.
They didn't. However, I wonder
was in that building before.
That's what I wanted to know. That's what I want to know. Is when did that whole building get built? You know what I mean?
Right. But mind you, I even saw I saw some articles about mentioning Blum's Vogue, and there was one article that I saw that had an ad for their furs. So they made fur in their facility, and I saw one ad where they were right next to each other. You had Saks Fifth Avenue right next to the Blum's Vogue ad, and it was talking about the Saks Fifth location here.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
It existed obviously in the realm of other. They just want it to be unique because they are bespoke, I guess.
Man, I'd imagine. So 920 is across the street from 900 North.
Across the street?
Yeah. So it's not the same.
Right next to each other?
Yeah, they're right next to each other. Right across. You know what I mean? Next to each other, but across that street.
I see.
I'm looking here, and I kind of want to see what that building would say. So I'm just going to assume that in that area, you know what I mean? That was obviously high-end fashion. Yeah. Obviously, Oak Street is right there. Yeah. So I wonder if there's inspiration to kind of keep that kind of up. You know what I'm saying?
So the 900 North Michigan Avenue building was built in 1989.
Yeah.
But I don't know what was there right before at this moment, which I hate doing research as right.
Yeah. No, I mean this is cool. I mean it's rabbit holes, but y'all get the point we're trying to make. Yeah. But the area is cool.
It's a very cool story, and I love that it kind of shows Chicago. Chicago once had a very strong hold on fashion, and kind of created something that wasn't anywhere else in the city. I love that they did that, and I feel like sometimes people think they credit New York for a lot of things, which is fine. But I think the reason that Chicago isn't or wasn't, I think this year has been revolutionary for us, which is good. Yes, I think up until maybe the last couple of years, Chicago wasn't credited with so much because we forget to tell these stories. Mm-hmm. I think we're Chicagoans are very proud, but maybe we forget to tell these stories of why we are so proud of the city we live in, and so I just love that we have this extra little piece of token of this one company that kind of just for 60 years or 70 years just did so much for fashion, and the story wasn't told. It's not told. I mean, even walking by the buildings, there's the building they scraped off the 624. Name. Yeah, they took off the name, and the plate is still there. The plate, I should say, the engraving area where the name is still there. Right. Why would you know what I mean? And so that kind of makes me sad sometimes when there's no memory of that. We for the 624 building, we did walk in and we did ask the security person that was there if they know of any kind of plaque anywhere or any history of the building, and they said no, I don't think there is. And so that always kind of makes me sad because you want these stories to remember it. So hopefully, I don't know, in 50 years when people are like, what was fashion like in 1920 in Chicago? This episode pops up and you learn about it.
Well, here's the thing, too. We are, at the time of the release of this episode, exactly 1 month away from Chicago's first Fashion Week. Yeah. It's timely.
Yeah.
You know.
And I tried to reach out to the Chicago History Museum, but I couldn't. I didn't reach out early enough, so I couldn't catch someone there. But
we found them in a very cool way.
But I did find an article or a blog post from 2014 talking about Blum's Vogue, so go check that out. That has a ton of information on it too, and some pictures in there if you want to see that. But they also show a picture of 2 dresses. That were, one was customized and one was the original, and it's a wedding dress, and that kind of showed you the kind of work that they did. You'll see the details in the neckline and the train and all of that stuff. So that's a really cool one. Just look up Blum's Vogue, Chicago History Museum, and I think they had the. I wanted to see if they still had the dresses on display because I would have liked to include them in our episode, but I couldn't verify that they were still there, so we didn't go. But hopefully, if they are, we'll do like a quick rerun on our Instagram and post those photos there because they look really cool. And someone gifted them for the exhibit, I believe, is what happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's a ton of really cool history.
Yeah, and we gonna find it.
We gonna find it.
If
you trust and believe.
Yep. All right.
That was all. If you enjoyed this episode, my mouth is dry. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you love. You want them to learn about Chicago history. You want them to laugh a little. If you did not enjoy this episode, that's all right. Check back next week. We might have something funner.
We might get your attention in.
Might. I'm going to go drink some water. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy, or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.